it didn't have fruit. The Kepha remembered and said to Yeshua, Rabbi, look, the fig tree that you cursed and dried up. He responded, have the kind of trust that comes from God. Yes, I tell you that whoever does not doubt in his heart but trusts that what he says will happen can say to this mountain, go and throw yourself into the sea, and it will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, trust that you are receiving it, and it will be yours. And when you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, so that your Father in heaven may also forgive your offenses.
I'm sorry. I didn't interpret that well. Can you say that again? I was listening, but it sounded interesting, and then I got distracted.
You're good. I appreciate the honesty. It's one of those that, like, getting to get to mull it over a little more. So, okay. So basically right here, Christ is teaching the lesson of the power of the tongue. He ended up seeing this fig tree and it didn't have fruit. And so he said, hey, actually I can find it in here. But Mark 11 is
I like trees with fruits.
Exactly. So with that, one of his students all said, it's like, Rabbi, look, the fig tree you cursed had dried up. This is Mark 11:22. He responded, have the kind of trust that comes from God. Yes, I tell you that whoever does not doubt in his heart, but trusts that what he says will happen, can say to this mountain, go and throw yourself into the sea, and will be done for him. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, trust that you are receiving it, and it will be yours. And when you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, so that your Father in heaven may also forgive your offenses. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. Basically, having the absolute faith that no matter what you say, like as far as when you pray as you're going to sleep at night.
Yeah, as you've been saying this whole time.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's saying what you love to say.
I like people to understand how to pray, man. That way people can have whatever they... The thing is that God answers prayers. If someone is wishing ill will in different, for different reasons and whatnot, then that same kind of karma, those things, then because of those thoughts, you're allowing those types of thoughts, those types of vibes to happen. So you're going to start getting more and more of those. It's one of those that you can use prayer. You can use prayer lovingly and use your speech lovingly, because the tongue is a two-edged sword. If the beautiful part is that with prayer, there's a scripture that says that if I had treasured a distasteful thought, something along those lines, essentially, then God would not have heard my prayers. However, God did hear my prayers. And so right there helps us to know that God is always listening. As far as with our prayers, it comes down to whenever you actually feel as if what you said is true, as if you really feel and you're holding on to it. It's solemnly so. And forgiving.
If you mean what you say.
Say what you mean what you say. And with that, in your prayers, once you're done praying at that point, anytime that the thought comes to mind, reaffirm exactly. It's like, you know what? Thank you, Father God, for reminding me you took care of that. Thank you for the reminder. You've shown me you're true to your word. You've taken care of that. Thank you for showing me that this is solved. Isn't it wonderful? That's a very powerful thing. I've learned from teachers. Isn't it wonderful? And it's like, what is it exactly? Now you're asking questions. Now you're looking for wonderful things. Now your brain is automatically doing that. Remember, a question opens the mind, whereas a statement closes it. So would it not make sense to use questions that might open the mind to infinite positive possibilities, infinite desirable or infinite possibilities?
What school did you learn that in? The first school you went to, or the second time?
Oh no, I mean that as far as like I've learned that from spiritual teachers, people like teachers along the way, and yeah, actually even like.
Well, didn't you have that? Didn't you say your first school you went to was a spiritual school? Or like some type of specific school. I forget the name of it.
I went to private school. Yeah. It was like the school. The church that I went to was actually it was a school at the same time. I was there for a few years. Yeah. Then I went to another Then I went to like another private school. Then that merged with another private school. I went to that other one, and then I went to public schools. And it was one of those where it's like, oh, okay. So, like this is how different people from different areas do different things. And it's like, regardless, Matthew. What was it? Yeah, Matthew 3:16. No, John 3:16. Excuse me. Let's check that one out. John 3:17, where it talks about how of course, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. I've said this one before. Whosoever shall believe with Him and shall not perish but have everlasting life. And then 3:17 says something along the lines of, for God did not send His Son into the world to judge it, but that the world may be saved. And so at that point we understand that, wait a minute, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So at that point, if something's going on in a way we don't like it, well, guess what? You've got access right there to just say a prayer. Exercise gratitude. Show God that's already been, that everything's good, that's taken care of. As a matter of fact, anytime that this is a practice that you used to practice as a kid a lot, and then used to, like whenever being a kid around others that are like-minded, family, oh, hey, pray, da-da. And then, eventually kind of got shy of doing that, and then would just passively do it. And one where it's like, well, you know what? Actually, this is a good practice to do. If you're ever passing by an accident, or if you ever even see or you hear sirens or anything like that, what you can do is remind yourself, oh, thank you, Father God, for reminding me that, you have angels around all of us, and that that you provide a way, that you take care of, you take care of your own, and that, by His stripes we were healed. Start exercising actual authority, word, love, compassion. Pray for those individuals and showing gratitude that, what, God is protecting them. There are people that are on the way that their intentions are only to spread love and compassion the best way they know how. So thank you, God, for guiding. Thank you for guiding the civil servants. As they have a servant's heart. All of them. That's police, fire, EMS. Medical, all of them. Like, God bless them. They're doing the best that they feel they can do, and so God knows their hearts, and thankfully it's one of those that my understanding is that one day all of them shall be out of business, which is perfect. That's what everyone wants, is an actual peaceful world where everyone is healthy, to have the actual utopia. Well, that's what we're promised. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all shall be added unto you. Understanding that all healing comes from within. And remember, what's of the flesh is of the flesh, what's of the spirit is of the spirit. So, being of love, being of the spirit, you can understand that the physical world is subject to what the children of God say, which we're all children of God, so we all have that authority. At that point, use that authority so that everyone is saved. If someone is acting a certain way, just remind yourself, wait a minute, don't judge. Everyone has certain situations where it happens. At that point, exercise gratitude that they're alive, that they have infinite potential. And you know what? Maybe there's something you can learn from that. If anything, remember whenever you were at those times, so that now, if you ever feel stressed out, you can remind yourself again, wait a minute. I'm here. Other people went through hard times. They're here. We can keep going. We got this. The invisible force that's around us, love. That's what powers us. That is all that we are. We are beings of love, and all of the extra stuff. This is just fluff. This is just things. That's all just fluff. Literally, it's the love inside that actually matters. It's the love inside that actually brings meaning to anything. It's like, okay, a child is born in this world. Why is this child in this world? Why does the child even care to learn? Well, its mother that brought it into this world loved it so much, so it's here. So you know what? All of this is for you to experience. Every single human is absolutely allowed to feel that and understand that. Always have been. It's always been our birthright. And that's the thing. It's like, guys, we're not against each other. That being said, like, if there's something you want, don't physically go for it. Don't do it with that. Like, don't do it in the way that's the only way you're gonna do it. Don't idolize your own physical action. Remember that you have the desire in your heart, so faithfully go at it in a loving way. And if there's any resistance, keep doing it lovingly, and then don't ever falter in spirit. Understand that, okay, I know I can do it. It says it so in the Word. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And if you're doing everything lovingly, that means everything you do is bound to be successful. As long as you're doing it with love, as long as you are loving yourself, as long as you really love yourself as you love others, and you see others as a loving extension of yourself, it makes it to where others are, to where even yourself, it makes it to where it's like, okay, it's nothing that's having to be bearable or having to be bared. It's just one of those that, okay, remind yourself, we've all been there, we've all felt those ways. It's okay. Let go of it. Relax. Hey, disregard that. Remember that it's because of your own faith that you are still here.
What's the difference between passion and love?
Well, we could actually look up the etymology. That's a good question. I like that. That's a insightful question.
Because it's like I just bring that up because I'm a fan of people who are passionate about their craft, whether it's sports, art, music, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Game coding, whatever a person is, I guess some would say passionate about it.
I love that. So, I just looked it up.
So I'm just curious on like the difference between passion and love.
I've looked at the etymology of the word love, and it does have certain roots like lub. Yeah, I believe.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's. Oh man, that's great. That's even better. Now that I've said it out loud, it's like that's even better. Yeah, it is. I'll look into that one in a second. But I mean, when passion. 90s kid, passion. Oh, Passion of the Christ. Obviously, the first thing that pops up. Looked at the word passion, and then century or C, and then 1,200. So it's like, anyways, that year at that time. The sufferings of Christ on the cross, the death of Christ. From Old French, passion, which is spelled the same. Christ's passion, physical suffering. From Late Latin, passionem, nominative of passio. Wow. Whew. Okay. Woo. Wow. Okay. That just reminded me of an individual ended up. Oh wow. Okay. Suffering, enduring. For past participle stem of Latin, pati, to endure, undergo, experience. A word of uncertain origin. The notion is that which must be endured. The sense was extended to the sufferings of martyrs and suffering and pain, generally by early 13th century, to replace Old English, which it looks like a P. I've got to figure. I'm curious to see what that was. Anyways, using glossus to it's like polung, or something like that. Anyways, to render Latin passio, literally suffering, from podion or pallian's verb to endure. It's not even a P. It looks like a P. Anyways, anywho, so passion, to endure. One of the things that shows the etymology of the word. Okay, that's a reminder. This is the etymology, which leads to definitions too. So the initial etymology. If you're ever going to have a definition, don't put the word in the definition. Christ's passion. Okay, well, what is passion? Like, okay, so so it's to endure. Okay, so let's go down.
I am Groot.
Okay, here we go. This is actually even better. This actually makes this an emotion, desire, inclination, feeling. Desire to sin considered as an affliction. Shit. Specific meaning, intense or vehement emotion or desire. Ooh. VEHEMENT. That's really cool. Okay.
V8. Wait, say that one more time.
Vehement. VEHEMENT.
Okay. Vehement.
Or vehement emotion. Intense or vehement emotion. So vehement reminds me of like behemoth, just because like vehement.
Could you imagine pulling that word out in a random sentence?
That was to throw that into like a Kill Tony thing or something like that, like just passively, like during the interview. Oh my gosh, dude! Like to literally, it would be absolutely ridiculous to orchestrate your vocabulary in such a to orchestrate your vocabulistic vernacular in a vivacious, vicarious, and voluptuous volume. like freaking V for Vendetta their asses, man, with comedy. It's like what? Like layers of comedy in every single thing that you say. It's just like, it's like, bro, what you said was funny, and when I go back and watch this, I'm gonna laugh about some other part of it, and then it's gonna click another part, and then it's like I just get more and more every time I hear it. It's like, good. That's good comedy where there's layers to it.
That is great.
Oh, it makes my heart jump for joy just even thinking, like talking like that. It's like, yeah, that's good stuff.
That was nice how you did the V's.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, wordplay is absolutely amazing because that's one of those that you really think about it. Utilizing the right words, you can get the right results with anybody. So,
absolutely. At
the end of the day, utilize your words in a loving way. Utilize your thoughts lovingly. Like your own, the Garden of Eden could be your own mind, your own brain. Anything can grow there. It's up to you to decide if it's true or not. If you're cutting it down, guess what? It's going to grow back up. What resist persists. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you don't like the thought, uproot it, toss that into Sheol, toss it into hell, toss it into Hades, let it be dead, let the dead bury the dead, burn that, let it be gone, have nothing to do with that thought or any possibility of it. Plant a new thought. That's where the law of substitution comes into play. So karma is whatever you plant is what you're going to get. Whatever you keep speaking is what you're planting. Yeah, crane style. So yeah. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Pelican crane? That's definitely a crane. pelicans got the big old like longer beak and they have the wattle. Dude, got to see freaking hummingbirds today, man. So cool.
Oh, that's nice.
They're always legit, man. It's so beautiful. When I say that word.
Did you hear it? Did it sing to you?
Hello, Josh. Oh, anyone else hear that hummingbird talking just now? No? No? Okay. Oh, okay, that was just for me. I shouldn't have said nothing. What? Are you okay? Yeah. Yeah.
It's like...
Shifting to the eyes. Oh, boy. Good stuff.
Or was the hummingbee at?
The hummingbird feeder. There were bees that were flying around the hummingbird feeder too.
I said bee at that. I said bird.
You did say bee. I understood what you meant. I mean, especially considering that those bees are, birds, those peas, pelicans? But no. Penguins! Avionic type birds. Because bird is the word,
Could you
right?
imagine if they screamed like that?
Oh, I love penguins. Oh, man. That's like even more, and that's too much, man. That's like, ooh, it's an overload. That's good.
That'd be overload. Yeah.
I love those creatures though in Dark Souls, man. Dark Souls 3, those chaos creatures, like they're great because they're just like look at them, like they're great. They got 4 arms. They're like fluffy, except for their heads, which look like it's like some type of bird kind of skull looking thing. And
I'm excited for New Game Plus. We're so close.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, we could honestly do it at any point, but it's just it's one of those.
For me, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, okay, it's like what's the next fight we've got? We both beat the brothers, the twins.
I believe we're both in the same 2 boss fights. We should be.
There's one of them we're getting ready to come back to. Because he was being a turd.
Yeah,
it's not the last boss fight. It's that guy before the last boss fight.
Yes, but
it's that guy. It's the dude he used to work with us. He like has the red hood.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
And we have access to the final boss fight, but we can do either or first.
Beat this guy first.
Yeah. Like, the game won't end just because you beat the final boss. You can still keep playing the game. Even though you...
I feel like it's a rite of passage to beat him first, though.
Yes.
Because then at that point... Because, first of all, this guy's intense.
He is extremely... freaking intense.
What it comes down to is honestly, I feel if you do your healing and do some things and I just keep catching his aggro and running away, we'll do better. I feel like we might be overcomplicating part of it. If we stay in a type of an enclosed area, so so if we keep our back closer to a wall, he's more inclined to at least be along the wall. So his tracking, we're able to track him more with attacks and everything. We can roll past whenever he comes in attack. We can roll. We can start. If you start rolling, you're most likely going to dodge it because that's part of the roll feature.
One thing I don't think we have tried or attempted. Is me as like a tank and in his face with healing. Like I could be a faith tank healer.
Yeah.
I don't have to be in his face. I just said that to say it.
Yeah. That works too. Just
being
a wall of faith. Literally.
Putting on my heavy duty armor, got the 2 shields, And then whenever we need healing.
Ding ding oh, man. Yeah. That's inspiring, dude. You know, that's part of it too, man, is like seeing the sovereignty and or even appreciating just appreciation, really, just gratitude. And just seeing how sacred and understanding, wait a minute, my breath is that sacred. The fact that others have acted on God's behalf without me even realizing it, on love's behalf. God is love, on acting on love's behalf in different ways. And it's like, yeah, our breath is sacred. Yeah, we should pay attention for our own sake. Invest our words lovingly. Invest your thoughts lovingly. If you waste them, well, guess what? There's no return on that. However, investing, there is a return. And that's the thing. As a matter of fact, there's a scripture I ended up reading that, well, yeah, I might have actually mentioned it already. About how, yeah, Christ, yeah, I did. How Christ's word shall not, is forever. It is so, it is done. So it's like, okay. Exercise that own authority with your own thoughts. Like, okay, if you prayed for something, understand that it's done. So, and to even think about it again,
do it lovingly, though.
Of course. Well, that's the thing, is understand that you only desire the best. So the best outcome is going to happen no matter what it might look like. At that point, it's like, okay, God is doing his work in that person's life, or God ended up not having part of this way. Or even with that, it's like, you know what? That has nothing to do with what my end result is, what my end desire is. So at that point, again, we're not here to judge the world. If anything, if something happens, if something reminds you, or if something is like pulling you away from feeling that your prayer is actually being done, that it's done, if anything makes you think that, and instead make it remind you that, oh wait, that's right, I said it, and so it is, because that's literally the authority I have. I said it with love. I said it in the name of love. I said it in the name of Christ. I said it, because your own breath is, we are one breath with God. We are one breath with Christ. So our breath is sacred. Everyone's breath is sacred. Everybody's body is sacred. Everybody's body is a temple. At that point, think loving thoughts for your own sake, of your own body, for others. Think healthy thoughts for yourself, for others. Speak healthily. If someone comes to mind, you know what? Imagine a loving way for them, just some way, somehow. Just imagine them just saying, hey, I've got great news. Like, that's one of the coolest things to ever, anytime you're greeted by somebody and they say, I've got great news, is like, cool. Like, all right, I like that. At that point, why don't you just imagine people coming and saying that to you? Who's stopping you from thinking those thoughts? The deceiver? The one that, or, well, whether or not you even want to think of others. But that said, if, people talk, and there's the idle talk, at least within that idle talk, that wasted, talk, where it's just not going anywhere. Remember, with that, it's like, wait a minute, maybe I could at least use that somewhat constructively,
I'm not sure what you mean by idle talk.
So idle talk comes down to like, it's amazing how there's so many different definitions for idle. So there's idle, like as in stale, stagnant. There we go. Just wasted, kind of just put out there. And then there's like idols, like idolized, which would be like you're externalizing your belief onto it, like you're believing more in that thing versus your own desire for it. So there's that kind of idolizing. That's like, as opposed to finding, God's sovereign. It's like if someone is worshiping something that's of the flesh versus actually, going about in a loving way of actually understanding that it's like, okay, it's that that's something that I like. That's something that I resonate with. So I love that. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. It's not like, oh, I need that. No, it's one of those that like, okay, I'm that type of person that attracts that, you know? So if you're idolizing, that means that you feel like you have to, you're externalizing, you're having to put it above you. No. Don't do that. Everything was made for us. Everything is made to worship the Creator. Allow for everything to be creative. Allow for everything to be loving. Allow for everything that comes out and that's around you to be. Allow for your emotions to go into loving things. Allow for whenever something happens that you don't overreact. You're still calm, cool, collected, loving, and you're like, okay, that's just, we'll come to an understanding, or, hey, that's fine, Or even with that, it's like, you know what? I'm still staying to what I believe. And I'm going to be kind along the way of, maybe finding a way to communicate what I believe in a way that resonates with someone a little better. Looking at every opportunity, looking for every opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. If you literally are fixated on only on one, it's like, oh, it's only this. It's like, okay, well, if you're idolizing it, that means that you're putting it above you. That means it's not one with you. Whereas if you accept it as being so it is, that it is yours, then at that point you are one with that what you desire. At that point you attract it. It naturally comes to you. So think loving thoughts of yourself and of others and of any situation. Speak lovingly so that the world might actually be the heaven on earth that it was always meant to be for us. And at that point, what it is actually is what it is, what naturally happens. Thankfully, it explains in Scripture that what is God's is God's. So, well, I consider every single human mine because I'm theirs, because I'm one with God, because they're just one with God. It's one of those, we're all in this together. At that point, it's one of those where I see everybody as an extension of myself.
There's a song that says that.
What's it say?
We're all in this together.
Yeah. There's that's the thing to remember. Is like, okay, we really are. There's infinite possibilities that we can, that some way somehow, we're gonna get through it.
Yes, remember to ember.
Remember to ember. That's the thing, dude. Remember that there's that humanity within you, that ember. I was like, okay, there we go. Even throwing the tears of denial.
Yes, that helps.
Yeah, it's powerful.
It will save you.
Such a good game. Oof. I feel like that was okay. So passion, yeah. So I feel that I feel like that was a roundabout way of saying answering question, or answering statement.
Yes.
Yeah. Bird.
I am Groot.
Feeling emotion. There's one statement I've heard and I love. Emotions are just energy in motion. So with that, what you can do is like, okay, for every emotion, there's the opposite end of it. What it is all emotions would just be on the spectrum of infinite wavelength. And at that point, you can see what the bottom would be. You can see what the top is. If you choose the top end of it, then you're going to keep catching higher and higher emotions, higher and better good feelings, and better loving good vibes. You're going to speak more lovingly. You're going to keep being more lovingly, and everything works out, just some way, somehow. there's less interruptions between blessings. And even then, if something seems like it's a big deal, then that's your opportunity to really...
Your hand looked like a worm going through the ground.
I love that. That's cool. The worm has
Evolved.
torch. It evolves. It's a fire worm. Do, 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 do. Attention and intention lovingly for others, man. Like, that's one thing that I've really started to appreciate now that I really stop and pay attention to kind of growing up and technology and the extension uses of and everything, was getting to play like Sim City on an old Windows computer. And it's like, well, with that,
You had to make money and pay rent.
you know, there's a lot of... Could you imagine sitting there and watching something, and then, like, you know, if someone is saying something and the person's like supposed to be the really, really, really bad guy, and, like, you know, it's one of those where you maybe not defend them, but point out the good qualities and point out, like, you know, it's like, well, any of the bad qualities, my understanding is that we all kind of grow out of that. You know, it gets burned off. Those bad qualities work themselves out, and if anything, it becomes easier to focus on the good qualities, and you see more and more of those. And so, even with that, understanding how technology kind of is like, what if any person that you've heard any negative things about, what if that was just actual, like, lies? What if that was all fake stuff? You know? It's like, wow.
I mean, that's all it actually is.
Yeah. It's true. People taking the context of whatever someone else is saying, and, you know, it's like, okay, well, thankfully the language barrier's fallen away, you know?
I mean, you've been saying it the whole time. It's just you gotta understand it.
Yeah. When you understand it, you see it. When you see it, you speak it. Well, actually, when you speak it, then you'll see it. When you feel it, then you'll know it. You'll do it. It'll be you. You know, when you are at the root of it, whatever your I am is, whatever you believe you are to be, then you're going to feel that way. You're gonna do those things. You're gonna feel that way. You're gonna love that way. You're gonna speak that way. You're gonna see that way, and you're gonna understand that way. When you when you are love, you're gonna do loving things. You're gonna feel loving things. You're gonna love lovingly. You're going to speak lovingly. You're going to see lovingly. You're going to, speak lovingly. Well, seek too, really. You're going to speak lovingly. You're going to see lovingly. You're going to understand lovingly. You know, it's like, forgive them. They know not what they do. It's like, literally, we were not sent here to judge. We were here to exercise loving understanding and judgment and discernment, you know? Like, you don't have to take no for an answer. It's like, okay, you could take that as feedback, and it's like, you know, maybe it just means that not now, or, you know, maybe try another time, or, you know, hey, you know, you don't need to talk to me, you know, stick with what you understand, and guess what, I'll come to the understanding you understand later, you know, allow that. You know, if you say something to someone and then they're like, no, it's like, forgive them. Like, they don't know what they do. Like, yeah. I'm talking in regards to if you prayed something or if you were working to, if you desired something, seeing others as a reflection of your own self. They are there to represent if there was a doubt within yourself, if you identify with that doubt, or if you have an answer to that. It helps you to remember, wait a minute, this is, again, all meant to be the Garden of Eden. Let's help to bring it back. Taking it back. By accepting that we're always there, by accepting that God has always provided for us, that anything is, it comes down to either you're freaking out over nothing, and then maybe you're putting too much stock in a physical thing, when really what you can do is like, okay, everything's gonna work out, and I'm just gonna do what I feel. I'm gonna do my best no matter what, and I'm just gonna keep doing what I know to be right, and then as it happens, boom, so it'll be, the way you desire it to be. Be what you desire to be. Do those things. Be, do, have. That's a good one I ended up learning from a good networking group, or I've heard it from. It's just a good one around. Be, do, have. So.
For me, I don't know why there should ever be a freak out moment. It should always be calm, cool, collected.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and that's one of those, man. Like, you're legit homie for literally, you've embodied that the entire time I've known you, and it's like, that's legit. It's like, cool. I've always appreciated that, and helped me to even, like, I've always known that, and then by not renewing my mind, following along with the patterns, by getting dragged in with everything and freaking out, it's like, wait a minute, dude, relax.
I stole your Ritz crackers that were over there because I didn't want to open up the box that has the rest of the Ritz crackers.
To me, that is you didn't steal them. It's one of those that, like, that's temporary. That's all good, homie. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah. I just didn't want you to see me eat these and then your brain is like, let me grab these.
By the way, these are those. Oh. These are those. That's always, yeah. More and more I'm reminded of whenever I was taking English classes and literature and reading classes and grammar, taking any of those classes all through school, and then actually paying attention to or investing attention into, okay, what are these words, what do they mean, what's the best way of phrasing this, putting this, what are these doing? And it's just like, okay, cool. What's always awesome and fascinating is people that utilize less to say more. That's what the Italianos, all that whole area is all about, is stoicism and how to utilize, and even the Spartans were all about that. It's just a very Anyways, Greek, Italian, that just Mediterranean area, really. Just that whole area. I mean, honestly, I'd say it's literally in every human. It's in everyone. It's in every single culture, really, is being able to say the least or the most with the least amount. Brilliant. Perfect communication. That's good. It's always good. Yeah. So, thanks for letting me know. I don't need to look over for the crackers because they're not there right now. Oh, thank you. Yay. Hey. And on top of that, I don't even have to go grab them now. Thanks. I don't have to reach down to nothing. Cheers.
I was uncertain on how fast I would eat them, so I grabbed both of them.
Word. Rich crackers are the bomb, bro. They're so good. They're so good.
Sometimes I just like smack through them. Sometimes I just be my normal self and
Eat them slow and surely.
eat
Yeah.
them slow.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I remember as a kid sitting down, chilling, eating Rich crackers, and it was a big old pack too, you know. And with that, it's like, okay, I've got X amount of packs. I've got these. So, okay, I can slowly eat each pack. You know, like, you know, maybe make one pack last 3 servings at a time. That's pretty good, actually. I'd say. Yeah, this is a good portion, actually.
I like getting these sizes so it portions it out.
Mm-hmm. And then it's not one bag being or one pack being hogged between. Because I'd share Ritz crackers with my friends. I mean, growing up during Aladdin, you freaking see. Oh, what's the parrot's name? Good lord. Comedian is freaking hilarious. It does his voice too. Anyway, it'll come to me. Anyway, parrots and crackers, man. You know, it's like, and then obviously, like growing up during like, you know, Sinbad the Sailor Man and or Sinbad the Sailor, Popeye the Sailor Man. Popeye didn't have any parrots around. That's interesting. Maybe. Anyways, yeah.
It's funny that you say parrots and crackers. I'm not sure if it was a parrot, but in Home Alone, it's not the first Home Alone. It's the one with the RC car. And
Third one? Fourth one? Third one?
I think it was the third one or the second. Yeah, it was the third one.
Yeah.
Because the second one
How many-
McAllister.
Yeah, Culkin. Macaulay Culkin, yeah.
But in the movie, I think it's...
Awesome guy. Love him, huh?
In the movie, I think it is McAllister, though.
Oh, last name for the character.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin. Yeah. Was one of the first ones. Different kid for the third one. First one and second one. Yeah. He's at home. And then he gets left in New York. Actually sees Trump, which is hilarious.
The third one is the different members, but it's the one with the RC. But anyways, there's a scene where the bad guy's in this igloo type of shindig, and then there's the bird, and the guy's like, cracker? 2 or I'll spark the fireworks. And he only has the one cracker.
I remember that one. That's so good. Oh, yeah. That was a fun movie, man. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing, dude. fun, innocent humor. You know, where it's like, all right, I can set all these little things up and like, you know, haha, win at the end of the day because I'm a kid.
Mm. Is that a mirror or is it two giraffes?
Yes.
I am Groot.
Sure, direct the match. I appreciate the fact that I've been learning the word parrot in Latin even more now. It's like, when am I ever going to say that? Patitsky? 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 I know my dad told me a joke earlier.
Was it a dad joke?
Obviously, my dad told it to me. Oh.
Was it?
Oh, those are the best jokes. Whenever like someone is like working on, I was like, okay, what is it? I was like, oh god, dog. Like just even thinking about it makes you laugh.
Right.
You have to give me a little bit on that one. 'Cause I gotta tell it the right way because it's good. Oh.
It's a real goodie.
That'd be hilarious, dude. Get a list of dad jokes. Get my dad's reaction from them. Give him one. Yeah, just give him one. See which ones he like. Like, yeah. Oh, I love that, dude. It's like, yeah, that's the best. Wordplay.
Are you rich? Good.
Very, thank you so much. Ooh, mushroom.
What are those?
Beautiful mushrooms. Growing on a tree.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what type of build you're gonna go for Elden Ring?
Would you mind letting them in by chance?
Gotcha.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, baby.
Puppy
Sweet puppy
dogs.
dog, my baby. my buddy was.
But so,
Get back to words and reading.
I see. I see. That's fine. You don't want to talk to me no more.
Do that.